Hi, everybody. Welcome to Today at the Races, sponsored by Fidelity First. Dave Rodman with Keith Fustel to go you through, bring you through the Friday card here at Laurel Park, our first of 4 racing days of the extended weekend with the Martin Luther King Jr. holiday. We're racing here on Monday, and post time will be 12:30. And right now at Laurel, I see it's 46 degrees. Not down a little bit from yesterday's high of 70, but certainly above last Sunday's temperature out here at Laurel Park. A really nice day for racing here at the track, and you can see the track is rated fast for this afternoon's card. Keith?
Sun is shining, a little chill in the air. Boy, we were teased yesterday. Temperatures, I think, just getting into right around 70, the high 60s and 70 yesterday in the Baltimore-Washington area. But it's heading back south, starting today into this evening. Possible precipitation, I believe.
Yeah, we'll keep an eye on the weather
Saturday.
for tomorrow, but enjoy it while you can today. And other than tomorrow, the forecast of the weekend looking pretty solid here in Maryland. And Keith has a early pick 4 ticket to get you started off in a winning way for our 4-day weekend. And a high 5 carryover has grown to $2,351. You can play that right off the bat, Keith, in the opener at 1 mile with a second wire finish. That is the first race in our pick 5, first pick 5 of the day with a mandatory payout. Late pick 5, the last 5 races with carryover potential. Took down the pick 6 last time we were here, so started with a clean slate in the 20-cent Rainbow Pick 6 this afternoon at Laurel Park. Lots of promising races on the card. Some odds on, well, at least one race I know you're going to go against, the odds on Hammer and Ammer in the 5th race today, and that would really blow up that pick 5, the early and the late, because that is a common race in the last leg of the early pick 5 and the first leg of the late pick 5. And I'm anxious to see who you're going to take against the odds on Rudy Rodriguez shipper from New York in there.
I'm not going to toss him entirely.
Okay.
But, we'll use him.
As far as your top pick goes.
Top pick in the race, right? We're going to go elsewhere.
All righty. Let's get to the action on today's card, Keith. The first race at 1 mile, and no scratches in the opener. And boy, Danny, my boy's in good form right now, isn't he?
Yeah.
I mean, you showed the video spotlight last time out, and he won on that muddy track December 26th, stretching out for the mile and 16th, coming back to the one-turn mile again, looking for his 3rd win in a row.
We might as well show him again, just flourishing right now in the barn of Annette Eubanks, who's had a killer last about 6-8 months, really doing well. And Danny, my boy, second time in the barn, another win, and kind of against the grain of the racetrack this day. You see him in the reddish silks, red blinkers in about 5th, a little bit bottled up, coming past a 3/8 mid-turn. Really doesn't have to steady too much, though. Karamanos gets this horse to a clear path by the time the field hits the head of the stretch. And boy, he challenges inside of rivals, and he does it so nicely. Again, on us correctly, Dave, you see horses a lot of time, they struggle with this longer stretch, sometimes at the head of the lane, and they just kind of wander a little bit, switch leads. No, mile and a 16th, no problem here. Stays straight and true, correct to the wire. He's really in tip-top form right now. I like holding the level, getting the wins, running through the conditions the way you're supposed to do it with these lower-level claimers. It's a tough little field, though. I mean, not a whole lot when you really dig into it, separating horses. He's going to have, I think, the right kind of flow, just enough speed in front of him, which will set up that late kick. You saw him aggressively making that move mid-turn. He's got enough now. It's just a matter of when Karamanos wants to say go on Danny, my boy. I think Sevy's in good form. He got a beautiful ride. The 3-horse today for trainer Scott Lake and owner Tom Reynolds. Got out to the best part of the track after navigating some early traffic. Really held on determinedly through the stretch. I think Sevy is going to be a factor in here. The 7 Rumbling Kyle, though, maybe the main threat. Got a little ambitious last time out off of a good win, an open-length winner that day on December the 2nd. At the mile distance, faster than a Fleet Willie, the allowance type race. Came back against double whammy North Ocean. Wasn't going to do it against his horses. This is a much better spot, and I think he'll move up into the flow of race by the time they hit the top of the stretch.
Rumbling Kyle, no shot really at 22-1 against double whammy last time out. As you said, a little bit slow maybe on the numbers compared to some of the other runners in the race, but certainly a horse can come from slightly off of it with outside kick. That won their Greek God chase, the hot pace of Hey Willie, their 2 races back. Last time out, kind of spun his wheels in a sloppy track, and I believe Senior Quickie was closing deep on the outside center of the track with the flow of the race. So that race may be a little bit better than look there for trainer Jonathan Maldonado and Greek God for 3M's Racing. This year at the mile, The inside post is 0 for 5, but I just think it's, it's too early to tell. Last year, the one post going a mile here at Laurel Park was actually pretty good. A good 12% strike, a decent strike rate. So not going to worry about post positions this early in the year, especially at the mile where that inside gate's been okay. At least in 2016 it was.
Once again, you have DNA approved just to the outside of Greek God. Greek God likes to lay pretty close. DNA approved was hellbent on getting the lead last time. He was up to it, made a bid, a short lead. Faded a little bit. Like these two, I think the road may have to go through them top of the stretch, but they just may go ahead and battle each other into the ground and soften it up for the likes of Danny, my boy, Seve, or Rumbling Kyle.
So that's the first leg of the pick 5, mandatory part of the early pick 5. Our first pick 4 of the day starts in the second race on the program. Races 2, 3, 4, 5. No scratches in the second race. You've lined the Spring Ahead. Wilco Take Note. Horse with some experience. Horse with no experience in the afternoon as the 9 to 5 favorite, but going to pick against here, I see, with Dear Old Dad from the Robbie Bales barn.
Yeah, Spring Ahead has beaten a couple of these in the past and went up to Charlestown. You see that that short comment last time in the maiden special weight, tried to get that state bred money, couldn't quite do it. Was bothered a little bit early. It wasn't terrible, maybe moved out a path or two, did have position, but the winner, just a runaway winner, drops back. Any repeat of the October 29th race, Dave, gets it done for Spring Ahead. There's some questionable speed types up front, but I like the steady improvement of the 4. Dear Old Dad gets you a Mortorius for a barn that's going very well right now in Robbie Bales and hitting at a good ROI. He's 26% the last 90 days with an ROI of $7 and change. So a Dear Old Dad, I think, will get first run on the 6, 1 bourbon, 1 beer. He's going to have to open up, though. They're going to be closing in on him. Nickamore got a good duel set up last time. That's the 3 horse today, gets Trevor. Really, they went hot and heavy on the front end at Charlestown. A little bit of an optical illusion of how fast that horse was really closing. But still, in his own right, a steady improvement. He'll take a lot of play. But Dear Old Dad holds the best value in this race, in my opinion.
Yeah, 4, 1, 3, 7 for Keith in there. And, a lot of those horses come out of a common race here, October 29th, won by Liar's Dice. It kicks off our, first pick 4 of the afternoon. And you have a ticket for us here, and you're going 4 deep to start, and a single in the third leg of the early pick 4 in number 3. Cheap ticket, $12. Good way to start your day.
Yeah.
A little go money for the weekend start.
Spread around in the first leg race, too. I do think it's pretty close. I mean, Dear Old Dad and Nickamore, I think, are going to be your favorites. But I like, not Dear Old Dad, I'm sorry. Spring Ahead. Spring Ahead will be your favorite. So a little bit better price there. We're going to throw the 4. And the 7, the Firster, we forgot to mention the 7. A Firster, kind of a big break in the works, kind of bothered me, but is kin to Coleman Fire, a horse that's shown some speed, Dave, on the main track. Then we go in the third race, 3 deep, 1A, 2X, and 4. I think the Motion horse will take plenty of play. That's the 4 horse. Singling, we've got a video spotlight later in the card and race 4 for the 3 Joy Drive. Money, I think, will definitely come in on the 5 and the 6. They're in really sharp form right now, but the 3, I was visually impressed by its last race. And race 5, we're going to use the 3 to 5.
All right.
And we're going to try to take them down with the 1 Flankenstein. Just a little $12 to get your weekend started. We got a long weekend. Maybe get a little bit of pocket change to get started and take you through the rest of today's card and run it up.
Well, I mean, if the 5 wins that final leg of that pick 4, surely isn't going to pay much.
No,
so I know a couple people are going to two singles on your ticket, right? Yeah, hoping that they can beat that at 3 to 5 in the final leg of the early pick 4. Well, Spring Ahead is from the Corrales barn, Keith, and part of the favorite entry. And Corrales 3 for 16 the last 30 days, and he's done it with a majority of the class droppers. And his horse drops to really lowest level yet from the Corrales barn out of that common race where Nickamore and Dear Old Dad and 1 bourbon, 1 beer have run back behind Liar's Dice. A good effort in in that race behind Liar's Dice with Spring Ahead. Big 5 wide move on the turn. I mean, at first you can say, it was a premature move, but when you realize that Liar's Dice ran pretty quick for that level.
And he came back to run well, too, Dave.
Yes,
I think
he
ran
did.
a 50 buyer off of the clean, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay, so you've got your $12 first pick 4 ticket of the day. Third race, scratch the plain 1 Thirst for Diamond, and the plain 2 Frisani. That leaves the other Country Life representative in there, number 2X Bryce's Fire, who had an eventful inside trip in his only start here at Laurel Park, which was her second start of her career.
She was hammered down at Penn National that night, her debut race in November the 11th, and just was unprepared at the break, didn't run a step. Immediate drop. That scared me. It's still, this is a kind of a tepid choice in this race, Dave. But Bryce's Fire, I like the way this horse kind of bounced up off the mat off of the debut, a little bit of a drop, maybe a little confidence builder. Was down inside, showed actually some pretty good gate speed, Dave, and then had to rate back off of horses before making a little move into the stretch and flattening late. Not a lot of speed in this race. I think Cupella, the 1A, could go with the blinkers coming in for Parks for a barn that's won recently here with a shipper. But Bryce's Fire bred certainly to handle the stretch out of EV Star. You know, this horse is Declan's Move, half to Declan's Moon. And Scarlett's Ransom was 6th in that December 10th race, and we saw what she did on that return. She just absolutely galloped for Jerry Robb.
Pedigree outstanding there on Bryce's Fire, and really that running line, when you look at it on paper for Bryce's Fire, doesn't do it justice. You got to go back and look at the video replay, really.
Yeah, I should have probably
that
put that
inside
one
part, I mean, well, we've got a couple other replays to show for sure, some good ones. That inside part of the track, again, December 10th, maybe worked against her. A little better draw this afternoon, and the stretch out as well. Socialize in the Graham Motion barn. Was it the mud that really caused that poor performance, or subpar performance actually, last time out at lukewarm favoritism at a little more than 2-1 against Scarlett's Ransom?
We see Scarlett's Ransom. Nobody really made any kind of move in that race, but the 10th and 11th place finishers did come out. There was those Corrales runners came out of there to run okay. One for 10,000, one for 16,000. You know, 2 sprints now off of a little bit of a layoff to go ahead to get the 1 turn mile. This horse should be set up for a good try. It did encounter some trouble 2 back when just missing.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it was partially the mud, and believe she was maybe a little tad reluctant to load. Nothing that you would maybe put in the note, but you know, maybe just things worked against her that day. She was between horses. I remember down the backstretch run there. So you know, maybe things didn't work out trip-wise for Socialize on the muddy strip.
Okay.
Alrighty, and covers our first 3 on the card. We'll be back in just a few moments with our 20-cent Rainbow Pick 6 on Today at the Races, sponsored by Fidelity First.
January 28th at Gulfstream Park, an icon takes flight. The world's richest thoroughbred horse race. 12 of the sport's finest horses. One race. $12 million on the line. Watch, wager, witness. Go to PegasusWorldCup.com for more.
Ready for the 20-cent Rainbow Pick 6 on Today at the Races, sponsored by Fidelity First. Dave Rodman with our morning line maker Keith Fustel from Equibase. And we'll get to the Pick 6 this afternoon. Keith did that early Pick 4 ticket for a $12 light play. He's not playing the Pick 6, there's no carryover, but that doesn't mean, well, you know, we can probably...
You shouldn't
play it, right?
Absolutely.
I mean, there's some value perhaps if you can beat Hammer and Ammer, the 3-5 morning line favorite in the 5th. Your favorite, you lined in the 4th race, number 5, Daily News, 9-5. There's such a thing as fake news, and then there's Daily News.
Daily News.
And is Daily News a fake favorite, so to speak? You know, we've seen this horse run many, many times before, kind of making some nice moves and never really kind of following through.
Right. And they do like to bet him. He was 4-5, 2 races back. Couldn't quite get it done in a state bred allowance. It took decent play into that 10-horse field. Bethel Wildcat, the motion horse, really ran a gutsy race that day in the sloppy sealed surface. I do think the money will come in again on Daily News. I may have my top selection line a little bit high in Joy Drive, but will it be mine? Daily News, you can't really separate them. Very tough to separate these 2 horses. They run 2, I'd say Willie B. Mine run 2 better races than Daily News, but both of them, good, hard races, the last 2. Did it soften them up just enough? Were they going to come off of those efforts just a bit? And I think Joy Drive, the 3-horse today for trainer Linda Rice, is really poised to run his best race. Second off the bench, coming off a good third, a real quality effort behind Saratoga Heater and Nickaradillic Rocks on December the 9th. Let's watch this video. The one-horse Joy Drive that day in the pink silks for trainer Linda Rice, and was up with the pace early against the bias of December the 9th. I shouldn't say that. No, December the 9th, fairly fair track. Outside still a little bit of an advantage. You see right here, though, had to steady, lost definitely some momentum. Maybe I'd say almost gave up a length and a half there. As to the outside in the four-path, Nickaradillic Rocks with the black blinkers and the pink and the purple cap goes to the lead. There's Saratoga Heater that found a clear running room in between horses, had all the momentum by the time the field left the 3/16 and goes away for trainer David Jacobson. Watch Joy Drive here, though, late. Battles gamely back and just misses the place. And he kept on well through the gallop out. If you go ahead and watch that again, you got a little free time today, hit the replay machine. I think Joy Drive a little short and back to 5.5. He doesn't necessarily need the lead. I think 8 to Hardway, the 4-horse, will go out and show plenty of speed. He's going to be sitting at a good trip today. I think he follows through. You see that record. Second off of a 180-day layoff, 41% for trainer Linda Rice.
And Keith, that wasn't the only horse I was trying to spy in the race, your Joy Drive spotlight, but I was looking also at a horse who was back of the pack, a beat two, a little horse named Ghost Bay, who came back out of that race to win. So a very, very strong race, no matter which way you look at it, paper-wise, video-wise there, talent-wise, Joy Drive there. I like that selection in the fourth.
Yeah, and a nice little maintenance work right after that on December the 27th at Beaumont. This horse is ready to go. I think he sits a good trip today. And I hope he settles in a little bit lower odds than Daily News and Willie B. Mine, I'm thinking. Yeah. And Mr. Game 7, if you're looking for another price shot, he was 20 to 1 in the Bethel Wildcat race against Willie B. Mine in Daily News last out. But he did encounter some trouble head of the lane. It was an ambitious jump, but hey, they're holding the level with this horse. He could definitely make a stronger run from the back of the pack today with a clear run.
Yeah. Did you pick that horse last time?
I used him in the mix.
I thought so.
And I'm going to use him in the mix today.
And now's a good time to come back on a fast track, maybe for him at a price. You know, talking Daily News, and he does have 3 wins to his credit. He's put together back-to-back wins, but a couple of times I've seen him get beat as the favorite. He probably should have won. So maybe a good horse to play against today in the 4th race, especially given that video and the class there from the Joy Drive allowance
we
race.
saw Saratoga Heater come back and run pretty well in a 2
Yes,
other
he
than,
did.
and he had a brutal trip that day. So he's kept the right kind of company as Joy Drive, and with a good run around there. He doesn't encounter any trouble. He's going to be right there.
A common race in the early and late pick 5 is the 5th of the day. Mandatory payout of the early pick 5, late pick 5 carryover potential. Hammer and Armour is going to be in a lot of tickets. You know, if he wins, both pick 5's not going to pay a lot, but I know you're using him on that last leg of the pick 4, but you're going to try to upset him today. First off, the claim with Flankenstein in the Linda Albert barn, an interesting claim off of the Hugh McMahon barn, and they jump him up to the 40,000 maiden level after claim for 25.
Yeah, Flankenstein, there was 3 claims in for him that day. This is somebody, they had their eye on this horse. Linda Albert comes away with the horse for earner Patrick Dewar. Little different dimension. It was forced his hand last time when stumbling at the break. He looked like kind of a horse that just wanted to lead, and he showed that ability to kind of recover and make a good run. A good final quarter, hung a little bit late, but the winner, El Minute, you got to realize was dropping day from maiden special weights and had run a buyer of 59 prior. It's a long striding horse, a bigger horse. I think he's learned that he can go ahead and settle back off the early issue. He's not going to be too far back in here, but if you're looking for an upset chance, I think, with the attention there was at the claim box for this horse, the move up to 40, Hammer and Hammer, he's not a slam dunk cinch, and he's going to be 3 to 5, 4 to 5 in that range. But he does come out of a race where the 6th place finisher did come back and run like an 87. He's faced better. This is what I like there. You've got a horse at Maryland bred Jump Start. They're going to try to come in and get this money, Dave. Only for $20,000 purchase. And they like this horse, in for maiden special weight. They weren't aggressive. So they thought this horse had some talent, just didn't quite show what they were, thought they were going to get on the racetrack. But he comes back. Going to be certainly tough. He'll be right up there. on or near the lead the entire way.
Yeah, well, people see Practical Joke in the debut running line. In addition, the sixth-place finisher and Hammer and Armor's positive note came out of that race to win the pace prompter.
Yeah.
Sixth-place finisher, winner out of that race, came back to score at 6-1 in his next out. And again, odds on for Hammer and Armor.
You see Practical Joke in the running line, who ran in the Breeders' Cup. So,
So you got Look Within, who you didn't use on the pick 4, correct?
Did not.
But I went back to this morning and look at that video, and that was quite interesting too. If you go back here at a video replay kiosk at Laurel Park and look at the Look Within's debut, I thought he had a testing run.
He did.
It was kind of the term I'd like to use for that, because he was up there with a pace and kind of got lost in the shuffle in between horses for a debut runner, and Gomez angled him way to the outside, and I wouldn't say he galloped out strongly, but it did finish on again with some interest, and so maybe second out is the score here for Ollie Figgins and Look Within. Out of Lost Timber, they bred that mare to, I think this may be the fourth foal or third foal.
I think it's the fourth foal.
Yeah, fourth foal. So this was, I thought, was the best sire that they've gone to with Look Within and Talent Search, and he might have a little bit of talent second time out, enough to beat that odds-on favorite.
He had every right just to throw in the towel that day, and he did not. Held on pretty well. McCarthy was originally named. Obviously, he goes to the Rudy Rod horse, so maybe a little bit of a tell there. They like this horse, trying to get Trevor on there.
Yeah, I think was one like that the other day.
And what do you do with Hammy, the bottom horse? Roy Hussar reported first-time gelding this afternoon.
Yeah,
with
well,
the 7/8 workout in 29 and change.
Well, 7/8 and 129, but the work that caught my eye was December 28th, the 101 and 3, solid work for the day, considering, and I think he may have worked with another Hammy first-time starter who's not run from Ellery, called Little Habit of Mine. Now, you know, whether or not that horse has any talent, and we'll find out. Indication perhaps they've for Royal Hussar first-time gelding, and I mean, look at his last dirt run at Laurel. No chance there against El-Arib. But he was 12-1 in that race. A ninth-place finish against that crew, transferring to a fast track today, first-time gelding. He's got a shot. Royal Hussar in here for the Hammy Smith barn.
And this is a horse they could have easily just given up on, and they don't. They're going to give him another shot. That's an eye-catching work. I thought 7/8, 129 and 3, trying to get the bottom end of this horse as Tom Reynolds makes his way to the set.
All right.
There he is. See what he can do in the opener.
Oh, that's right. That's right. He's not giving us any hints.
He might have dug up a couple jars at the farm, and you know, we'll see. We'll check the windows.
All right, free turkey for everybody if Tom Reynolds wins, right? Yeah. A 6th race scratch to 2, Lady Moray, and this starts our late pick 4 races 6, 7, 8, and 9. Wow, a group of fillies and mares where you could go a lot of ways. There's a note on almost every horse in here. Bohème de la Vie, a big run wide for Sip Sonata. Can she come back? You got the Sacco barn with Let's Parlay on the outside. Maybe an excuse in her last race. She ran back in 9 days, December 2nd to December 11th. But ran well, ran third, and now with a little bit more of a layoff. She's got talent against Stonetastic. She ran 5th there in the Pumpkin Pie, which way in race 6.
Yeah, I settled to the outside. A tough race to line and a tough race to handicap, but Let's Parlay really strung together 5 quality efforts in a row, and you say, Dave, that was a kicker. Came back quick, 9 days, a little bit more fresh in the day. I think she's going to enjoy the spacing. She doesn't have a ton of gate speed. She was hurt last time by coming off away a little bit slow. She kept the right company. I think she can make a move into this pace. The pace, a lot of the pace gets left with the scratch of Lady Murray, but Jessica Krupnick will be close. I think Out with Big Daddy will try to take an aggressive tactic and go to the front. This horse should be well placed to the outside, have them in range by the time they hit to the head of the stretch. But she's going to have to hold off the legs. Bohème de la Vie, expect a little bit better run from her today. And I like it, once again, not a give up. They're going to keep her in the condition, not in for attack for trainer Kieran McGee. That's the one, Bohème de la Vie.
Yeah, I thought she ran a little bit better last time out, but maybe it was a sloppy track that was kind of undoing, or maybe not giving her a top effort. She was second in the Shine Again. Stakes placed right off the claim against a Southern Girl. We'll see that horse tomorrow here at Laurel Park in the What a Summer Stakes. So good company there for Bohème de la Vie from the inside. The 4, Jessica Krupnick. A good effort last time out, just nabbed by Sweet Ray of Sunshine in the last yards of that 6 furlong sprint December 18th.
Yeah, she's certainly moving in the right direction right now. Came out of the Safely Kept where she really didn't disgrace herself. My partner Bill upstairs liked her that day at 13-1. I didn't like her at all, but boy, she fooled me. Big effort, drew clear, but just couldn't hold off the likes of Sweet Ray of Sunshine, who ran very well in her own right. Yeah, she's going to be, I think the road may have to go through her by the time they hit, maybe nearing the 8th pole. But I think Let's Parlay and Bahom Delabi will be kicking in pretty strong through the stretch.
Out of that Sweet Ray of Sunshine, Jessica Krupnik race, is Sip Sonata with a big middle move. When is she going to run back and light up to her best race, say August of last year when she was almost 20-1 and beat Bahom Delabi? She's capable. She's capable. She just hasn't put it together lately. Here at Laurel Park. But she's a 3-time winner here. Another one I don't think you can leave off a ticket in Sip Sonata.
Yeah, she's got a couple big races, 280s on the page, but other than that, she's kind of been a mid-60 kind of a runner. You got to time the run just perfectly with her, Dave.
Well, just when you leave her off is when she
yeah,
comes back
no
to
doubt.
run the 80.
No
That's
doubt.
the way it goes. 7th race, scratch the 1A. Perfect deal. 3, She Be Sassy, 15 and 16 in a scramble. A lot of ways to go. My friend down in Louisiana, Marty with the party, not only is he a great speed figure maker, but he's a kind of old school guy. He prints out the workouts. And he keeps on a clipboard, not even a computer.
Where is he living? His mother's basement?
Yes.
Is he down there? Okay, that's what I thought.
Yeah. Anyway, he's got a horse in here too. But who do you like in the 7th race?
But were you going to give me the workout, Moondust too?
Well, yeah. I'm talking
Okay,
about.
we'll
Go ahead.
I'm going to take a flyer. I mean, this race cries blow up. You're looking at it. I think I made the favorite, 9-2 morning line favorite on Scarlet's Image. I do believe Lacey's horse Mesmerize will take plenty of play off the shelf, but the debut run wasn't bad for the 8 Marjorie Muggs for Sammy Davis. You saw that move. I had to take back out a little bit of traffic early on a fast track, a big middle move before flattening out. I'll just toss the last on the sloppy seal track, say she didn't like that. She reverts to her debut run. She can be in the mix at a big price. I cannot sell you really on anything as a stone cold lock to be 1-2 in here. This is such a tough race.
Absolutely. Scarlet's Image, Figgins Barn dropping. I mean, Gloria Patri, that was the Mary Epler horse,
Mary
right?
Epler
That
horse,
Scarlet's Image, the 6th ran against last time out. It was pretty much went all the way, right? But those fractions are pretty good. 22-4, 46 and 3 comparatively the rest of the day.
Yes.
Even though she was dropping a bit and was the only speed kind of in the race, went all the way. I think Scarlet's Image on the drop will wake up in a new world here today.
Exactly.
Yeah,
I agree. She comes out of the faster races. You see the half 46.
Mazzy
A lot of these
Star.
horses are in 48 and change, 47 and 4 internals. She should be on the engine.
Mazzy Star there, a little problem last time out, pulled up out of the race with there December 23rd after some time away, coming back today.
Yeah, and Toledo stays. Maybe a little bit of a tell for the 12 Mazzy Star, but the 14 Moondust too. First her could sneak in. This, if you're going to get the kind of a field you want with a first-time star that's live, you think is live. This is the field you want. Lasix goes on first time out. Stevie Hamilton for Annette Eubanks. And what Marty have to say about this one?
Yeah. He looked at his clipboard workouts and he went all the way back. The horse had worked actually in May. Did Moondust 2, the 14 horse today in the 7th of the card, and then had a break, time away, and then the string of workouts that you see in your racing form, and actually is a decent work, 49 and 2, 4th best of 47, and then was put on the shelf. Okay. So maybe something happened to Moondust 2, and she can come back and fire against this field? Yeah, maybe so, at a big price today. Annette Eubanks, not a lot of sample, though, with first-time starters, do we?
No, not a whole lot.
Anyway, but that's Marty's pick today.
Okay, it's a tough race. And Wildcat Rising, I mean, I don't think you can, the other Annette Eubanks horse can leave that horse out of the mix as well. I mean, it's 17 tries, though maybe the 18th will be the charm. She's going to have a lot to overcome from the inside.
All right, race 8, scratch the 3.
Patriotic and Proud?
Patriotic and Proud, thank you.
That's all right.
And the 7 Winter Ride. Anyway, there's a New York shipper in here that seems to be pretty serious. in Mighty Moses out of a very, very strong race, and race 2 back very strong as well.
Yeah, I mean, we're running a little short on time, but Mighty Moses really got good late in the 3-year-old year. We've seen this time and time again, comes in off of a good 88 buyer and a hard-earned victory. I like how they give this horse a little bit of a break before jumping up into the 2 other than condition. 2 back faced Realm, ran a 95, Realm did on November the 5th at Aqueduct, came back to run third, a good third in the Cigar Mile. Mighty Moses, you first thinking, well, jumping up in the kitchen. This horse is sharp, razor sharp against a bunch of horses that are a lot of questions linger. Golden Glint doesn't seem to be the horse that he once was. Sea Raven was, I think, entered in scratch. He's kind of form has been in and out. I guess the main question is the 2. Charm Victory goes first time now in the barn of Graham Motion, was scratched out of a stake. Reported gelding first time today. He does not have a lot of speed. He's down inside. Will he need a race, Dave, is going to be the question at a tough mile distance and against a horse that's in just razor sharp form right now.
Yeah, they had a lot of high hopes for Charmed Victory. He's coming back here against a solid group of old horses. Graham Motion's barn for the first time, and no, that was the other one Marty told me. He said, you know, he's such a squirrel. He goes back and looks. January 5th, December 24th, December 18th, the 8th, the 2nd, the 24th at Fairhill. This horse had 3 more weeks prior to that at Fairhill, the 18th, the 11th, the 5th of November. So he's got plenty of foundation under him for Graham Motion off a time away from the races. I said squirrel. I hope that doesn't mean he's coming to get us here.
Don't give him the wake-up call.
Now, you mentioned horse that was scratched in here. It was at Sea Raven.
That has been scratched recently. Yeah,
right,
it was
right.
a recent scratch.
Monkey's Medal and Sea Raven out of that same race. December 24th, Christmas Eve, scratched out of that same race. And they're both back in today at the 1-turn mile. But look at who they scratched against. Horse named Fleet Willie. Did he run off a screen that day? They're probably lucky that they didn't run against him that day.
And a Fleet Willie was 7th.
In the Mighty Moses.
In the Mighty Moses race.
It all goes back to a Fleet Willie as the common horse.
He's your key horse.
Good race there, the 8th,
Yes,
our featured 9th race on the card. We have one more video to show you on today at the races, and good reason, too, to put this video up on a video spotlight for Keith, and that's just a little bit more.
Yeah, the 9 horse this afternoon, the 2 horse the other day on December the 24th, the black cap, white silks for Barry Schwartz. Yep, down to the inside. And really, was going through some quick, honest fractions, 22 and change, 46.5. Makes a bid, fairly menacing bid, but was on the worst part of the track on the 24th. You see Gavin Streetsense, who did win next time out, and to the outside, there's Lockie for trainer Demi Delavico. We're going to see tomorrow, who just absolutely loved this slop. Second time out, 4 wide, ran a buyer, I think, in the higher 80s. But look at the 2 down there, still trying on the worst part of the track. Spiteshill, the gray, to his outside and about the 4-path, running 4th. It's kind of life and death to get by him by the time the field hits the 8th pole. He eventually does. But I like the try all the way into the lane. This is a much softer bunch. The right kind of a move for trainer Lacey Gaudet, just a little bit more. I think it's all or nothing for him.
Right, going from that dead inside and outside draw today, and well, Damon's horse, Bay Built, should have some early speed, and wow, and that was first time gelding last November 18th. Showed big speed at 33-1 and stopped, but may not see a stop sign today with the drop to maiden 16.
Yeah, shortens up a 16th of a mile. I don't think there's anybody in this race as fast to him. The gate speed, super, super strong, and I talked to Damon a little bit beforehand. Yeah, if you try to rate a horse like this sometimes, it can be to your detriment a little bit because it gives the other horses the closer, get a little chance, and if you're a little bit faint-hearted, that puts a lot of pressure on that kind of animal. I think he can go ahead and clear away, even maybe rate 2 or 3 clear around the turn with his kind of speed. Just shortening up the 5.5 and a drop from maiden special weight should definitely enhance his chances.
Yeah, they just might try to dazzle him with early footwork and just take the start to some of the others who are on the chase and just have enough to stay on there. Dangerous second-time gelding for the 7 Bay Built. A lot of people play second-time Lasix, and a lot of people play second-time gelding. There's an angle for you.
There's your angle. Haviland man for Annette Eubanks jumps up again off a good try. Got to the lead and cleared. I thought he'd come from off of it. He does show that he has a rating gear. I think of the closers, the horse are going to make a run, and he's maybe your best chance. That's the 4.
Stalk was second last time out. Dueled inside a foe. That got my attention there December 18th. That was a fair day, you thought, right? Am I right? Yeah, I think so. I believe so, yeah.
Yep.
But, good effort on the drop there for trainer Phil Schoenthal.
That was a big wake up for that horse, but he's going to have speed to his outside to contend with. Yep.
All righty. So you got your early pick 4 ticket, Keith, with that $12 ticket, and a high five carryover at $2,351 to kick off the card today in the opener. 2 pick 5s mandatory payout. The first one, carryover potential in the second one. 20-cent Rainbow pick 6. Keith, thanks a lot. We'll see you tomorrow with 2 stakes on the card tomorrow afternoon, and racing Monday here, MLK Junior Day, first of our 4-day weekend coming up here at Laurel Park. 36 minutes away. Good luck.
Good luck.